Well, plenty for my guests to chew over then. They are, this week, the Labour MP for South Shields, Emma Lawbuck, Stockton South Conservative MP, Matt Vickers, and the Green Party Sunderland Central candidate, Rachel Featherstone. Welcome, one and all of you, this week. But let's start with Brexit. Now, 3 years after leaving, a new free port on the Tees is gradually getting going. But there's also a stagnant economy and falling investment. And what about that promise of £350 million a week extra for the NHS on that famous bus? Matt Vickers, let's give you an easy one to start with. Tell us one thing that you believe has flowed from Brexit that's benefited your constituents.
That's not easy because there's actually several things, but one of the things you mentioned already is that Freeport. And not only are there those Freeport jobs on the Tees, 20,000 great, high-skilled, well-paid jobs that are going to appear on the Tees, but actually, as well as Tees Works, part of the Freeport and Teesside involves a new business park at the airport, which could create 4,000 jobs. Lots of private investment going in, creating real...
And are you saying none of that could have been done without Brexit?
Not to the level that we're doing it. You couldn't have offered the incentives that we're offering to businesses now to drive that investment. That's why it didn't happen before.
But overall, you know, most observers are suggesting the economy would have been in a better state because we put barriers between ourselves and our major market in the European Union. Would you accept that although you obviously supported Brexit, there are probably benefits in terms of more decisions can be taken here, but economically, it's been harmful, hasn't it?
There is lots of reasons for lots of issues with the economy, but actually, in real terms, when you look at, we've got a unique deal with the EU. We do not have tariffs and quotas.
Because nobody else wanted that kind of deal.
We can trade with the EU, but moreover, we can trade with 71 other countries. We're on the doorstep. You know what? Australia, New Zealand, we're looking at this CTPT, £9 trillion marketplace for us to enter. Lots of opportunities.
And is that making life better for people in Stockton South?
There are lots of businesses down there ambitious to get out there and trade with the world, and that's a really good thing.
OK. Emma Lawbuck, now, you had a bit of a journey with Brexit, I know. You did vote for Theresa May's deal, I believe, and obviously you wanted to honour the wishes of your constituents. But how do you think Brexit is affecting South Shields? Well,
it's not going well. I mean, we weren't in a good state before then because we've had the Tories in charge for so long. But just to pick up on the point that free ports, you didn't need to leave the EU to have a free port. In the free port in Teesside, it's not materialised. The jobs that people are saying have materialised, and 90% of it is in private hands. How is that benefiting anybody? And, I certainly, I said that I would honour what my constituents wanted. I did that. But then the delivery of it has been absolutely diabolical. We've seen just recently that the Tories in government have ripped up nearly 4,000 pieces of legislation, and they're going to make decisions on that behind closed doors. That's not taking back control. Okay. That's not sovereignty.
Well, did your constituents make a mistake then?
No, of course they didn't. They voted because they wanted some control back. They haven't had any control back. It's all being controlled by the Tories in shadowy back rooms in Whitehall.
Rachel Featherstone, what about Sunderland? Now, there were also dire warnings about Nissan. They haven't come to pass. Has Sunderland really been damaged by Brexit?
I would say the whole country has been damaged by Brexit. We've seen our revenue cut, foreign investment is down, trade is down. So 75% of businesses in the North East would say they've had a negative experience of trading with Europe since Brexit. And 40% of them have said that their trade with Europe is down since Brexit. That's just in the North East alone. So it's knocked money off the economy. We've lost workers from hospitality, from health, from agriculture, and it's been a really negative impact on the North East and the country as a whole.
Matt Vickers, wouldn't you accept that it could have been done better? Whether forget the arguments on whether we should or shouldn't have left, that this could have been done better?
I think in Parliament we saw, 2 years of deadlock, of people arguing the toss over it. Actually, I'm glad we got the thing done and we moved on, and we're 3 years in. There's lots of opportunities. We've talked about the Freeport, 24,000 jobs on Teesside. That's a really positive thing for us.
You mentioned that. What else is there? What else could have been done better? I mean, sure, a lot of Conservatives even think now that perhaps it hasn't been done that well. I mean, the promises for the NHS, have they really been realised?
The promises for the NHS, so the promise, we said that £350 million extra a week could be spent on the NHS. There's actually £560 million extra going into the NHS.
Cash terms.
That's why there are 10,000 more nurses in those hospitals now. There are 4,700 more doctors. It's why last week and the week before, We heard about a new diagnostic hub for Stockton, a new diagnostic hospital where people can get access to those CT. 104,000 people can get access to CT scans, MRI scans. A new £3 million mental health crisis hub that's going to help people get help in their hour of need.
Would you accept any of those as Brexit benefits?
I think it's laughable that you're trying to extol what a brilliant state our NHS is in when you've got half of the workforce going out on strike because of pay conditions and because the NHS is crumbling. And the reality is, this week it was just revealed that we are the only major economy that is going backwards in growth. We're actually doing worse than sanction-hit Russia.
What would you do differently with Brexit that would make it a success? Because in the end, you did back Brexit deals in Parliament.
Yeah, and we would have negotiated properly. I mean, what you've seen is lots of posturing and lots of childish behaviour from people.
What would you do differently to make it work now?
Well, we would have a proper relationship with our neighbours in Europe. We would debate with them, we'd discuss things with them, we'd make sure that we got a deal that worked for everyone. I was part of a group in Parliament trying to get a deal cross-party that would work for everybody, but because Parliament was so entrenched on either side, either no deal or a referendum again, nothing came of that.
Rachel Featherstone, I think it's probably unlikely we're going to rejoin the European Union anytime soon. So what, does the Green Party believe could make Brexit better?
We have to immediately start to negotiate to restore freedom of movement, and we have to rejoin the single market and the customs union.
People vote against that, effectively?
I don't think they did. They were told that there was no chance of us coming out of the single market and the customs union by government figures in the Leave campaign. So they were told that that wasn't a possibility when they voted for Brexit. And of course that is exactly what's happened, and that's what's damaged our trade and had this catastrophic economic impact.
OK, all right, well, now Matt disagrees about whether it's catastrophic or not. We'll no doubt talk about it again at some point.